Hello everyone, please subscribe to my channel and make the notification bell to all to receive all my new videos. Hello everyone, my name is Arjun and today I will tell you about what makes the GTR cars so special. These cars are extremely popular and have a separate fan base of their own. With many people I know interested in this topic, so I decided to make a video on this. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The first Skyline were made in 1969, but it wasn't until the introduction of R32, 2 decades later, that they started to gain real attention. Let's start with the reason what made these cars so special that they have millions of fans around the world. These cars were still, until now, a big deal in video games, whether it is Forza, Need for Speed, or Gran Turismo. Especially in Gran Turismo, GTR became its signature car and was type of a cheat code in it. They were considered legendary in video games, and same is now in reality. The second reason is movies. Most of the people recognize the car because of the famous movie franchise Fast and Furious. Paul Walker drove the R34 Skyline GTR in Too Fast, Too Furious and the fourth movie. This was another factor in its popularity. These cars were also famous in anime like in Initial D and Vanguard Midnight. This also made them popular. There are hundreds of videos on YouTube, people showcasing their GTRs and driving them, and some making insane horsepower figures, and some doing ballistic launches, which is totally amazing. But the most significant reason is racing. The R32 Skyline GTR was dominant in the Japanese Touring Car Championship. The most famous victory for the R32 GTR was at Australia, which earned its infamous nickname Godzilla. Now let's talk about their performance, because that's what they are made for. These cars were made for racing and drifting. There were many GTRs made over the time. Let's see the ones which made a greater impact. The first one, the R32, was launched and it made below 280 horsepower from a twin turbocharged straight 6. These cars were made with so less horsepower because of an agreement which stated that the Japanese companies could never start a horsepower war. Then came the R33 Skyline generation, which rolled out and introduced the GTR, making 300 horsepower. The R33 was 20 seconds faster than the R32 Skyline. Then comes the R34 GTR, making less than 300 horsepower due to the agreement. But in reality, the R34 GTR actually produced 327 horsepower. We will talk about it more in the later part of the video. The R35 generation, the heaviest GTR and the latest one, powered by a twin turbocharged V6 instead of the straight 6. The acceleration in R35 is astonishing, achieving a 0 to 60 time in 3.2 seconds. Also, each of the engines of the R35 is hand built, so like one car may achieve 480 horsepower while the other one may have 500 horsepower, so the horsepower may differ. Now comes the part you all have been waiting for. Let's talk about the engine, the twin turbocharged straight 6, also known as the RB26DETT. It's quite a mouthful. Has a very large tuning capacity, which means it can handle quite an enormous power. A lot of people have been tuning the straight 6 to produce insane horsepower figures, and even the V6 has been tuned. Today, it's not surprising to see GTRs making over 1000 horsepower and people recording their quarter mile, beating Lamborghini, Ferrari, or even Bugatti and uploading their videos onto YouTube. These cars were way advanced for their time and compete with cars in today's time. Let's talk about the infamous R34 Skyline GTR, as it's one of my favorite cars. The R34 comes from a time when LED DRLs weren't even a thing, when GPS was just being introduced and was considered a rather expensive option. It also had computerized gearbox controlled by paddle shifters. It had a multi-function display like in today's cars. It offered nav and connectivity. The display allows you to monitor the stats of many obscure items, which would be an interest to a tuner. The R34 is a driver's car with endless tuning possibilities. What about the GTR fandom, which has millions of followers around the world just like us? My opinion that some of the fan base might be a little stubborn or toxic as they think that the GTR and other Japanese legends are the only cars in the world. But some actually appreciate these cars, so they deserve some respect to appreciate all types of cars. The GTR cars are legendary and have made childhood of many people throughout the decades. These cars were made legendary due to the tuners and will always be remembered. Thanks for watching. Like for the algorithm, share to your family and friends if you like it. Till then, see you next time.